Hey there, guys. Welcome to GFG's BT17.5 post ban list tier list video that we're making. We're going to be reviewing all the decks and we're going to let you know what our thoughts on them, see where everything kind of like falls. Today
Yep.
we have me, Cloud, we have Hayate, and then we also have
Hi.
Peaches here.
Hello.
Yeah, we're missing a couple members, guys, but they'll either come in a little bit later due to like just work and things like that, or you'll catch them in the comments, or if you want to ask them, just go ahead and DM them personally if you know them. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First things up, we have seven deadly sins, or yeah, the seven deadly sins, demon lords,
Tier 2.
tier 2.
Yeah, personally, I've never thought it was like that. I've never been the biggest believer in it. It does stuff. It wins out of nowhere if it gets a time, and if it just has a great game and it can just straight walk through your. But there does suffer from a lot of counterplay.
Like
Mm,
like Ace's counterplay, or just like counterplay in general.
Counterplay in general, floodgates. Just if you can remove their bodies before the start during your turn,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't tuck, they'll never really get to their Aguda. Paladin mode just absolutely stops their win condition.
yep, this is true.
Yeah, I know. One of our members
It's
here,
kind of a slower deck. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I know one of our teammates, TK, plays it quite often, and he's currently not here right now, but he played TSs a lot against Peaches. I don't know, Peaches, how do you feel about that matchup between Imperial and Seven Deadly, or Demon Lords?
Um, yeah, it's it's kind of rough for Demon Lords. I'd say the biggest thing it has going for it is probably going to be the Lucemons and the Beelzemon. The Beelzemons because you can de-digivolve like Imperial's or Digimon just to remove the partition and take away like threat of being ace. And then the Lucemon is pretty good because you can try to hit the Tamers.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to kill the Tamers, that's pretty good. However, I'd say like I think the new wave of support for BT17 really like pushed Imperial past this matchup of being like a losable one.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to get that Tamer means, or sorry, being able to get the new option just means that you're going to be a lot more like protected against one of the main lines for this deck, the Leviathan Mon play. So they're not going to be able to get as much like memory back from the Leviathan. It's not going to be as such a reliable form of an out to your partition.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you can just go up now. And yeah, I mean the new dragon mode, the one that we had since BC16, it's always just been kind of like the out to Oguda. Even if they get to like their 7 different names, you just like you keep like a dragon or even just like a pale and back and just promote become a dragon and it just pretty much shuts their win con down for a turn. So yeah, I'd probably say tier 2 is just a pretty good spot for it. I mean that's just talking into its Imperial matchup. I think it does have some good matchup against some of the other meta decks, but I'd say it probably overall went a little bit down in favor. I would say like a couple things to caveat this is this deck didn't really see any touches on the ban list, as well as I guess we get Shoto coming up here pretty soon,
Shoto
and
Mother and Shoto Blocker combo.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
Shadow
so
Mother, right?
yeah, but you can kind of do it with this just because you can make your
Big
dudes
old bodies.
blockers. Yeah, just big bodies that can be blockers.
Mm-hmm.
So that just can kind of come up and be good, but besides that, yeah, I think for right now, tier 2 is probably where this deck belongs.
Gotcha. Okay. Great. Moving on to the next one, we have AncientGaru, the blue hybrid stuff.
I think overall after I would have put it before ban list tier 1, like on unquestionably.
Yeah.
But it's lost a lot of consistency with the Uko package. I mean, if you were playing the depending what variant you're playing,
Mm-hmm.
you lost 9 cards on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Yeah.
6 to 9
Yeah.
cards. That's
Because
almost a fifth of your deck just shotgunned out.
it was like you either ran like the Gabu package stuff, or like you go into
Which all
Gabubond,
still
which will
played Hammer Spark,
Spark,
Louis, and
and all that,
Uko. No
literally
matter
like damn near all of the stuff that got hit.
if you played red hybrid variant, the
Mhm.
red base variant, you were still playing Louis
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
And
Uko,
Ukos as well. Yeah.
and sometimes Hammer Spark.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like I played against it with Dexdoru over at locals pretty recently, over our past weekend, and to be frank, like even though like it was doing like ancient Garu things, at least for my matchup against like Dexdoru versus Ancient, even at full power, it didn't truly feel like anything super duper life threatening. Um, this is personally for me in the testing that I've done again. It was like maybe like my second or third time facing against like ancient or like the ancient Guru package and stuff, and as well as like I was playing against one of our like stronger players in the Central Valley area. Shout out Blue Flag Jesse. But yeah, like even though like the game went 2-1 and I lost, and it was like due to lack of experience. But overall, like my entire time, like how I felt during the matchup, I wasn't truly worried about like anything, because like Dexdoru just pops your tamer or pops the tamers, and I just kept doing that, and it was an effective strategy. And like once they do that, they kind of lose that that quickness, like that
Yeah.
quick butter knife, or no, not butter knife, but just like quick knife of an action.
Yeah, but he stab.
Yeah, for sure. But where did you say we were gonna put it?
I like 1.5 or high 2.
Yeah.
I definitely think Ancient
it's
Guru is better
still
than 7 Demon Lords and will win that matchup. But I don't
yeah,
think it's not
absolutely.
like it's gonna top locals for sure. Like if you play well and like
Hundo P, and it's probably, I mean, still see event tops. Like, getting fan, you gotta think, it's still a fan favorite archetype.
mm-hmm,
Hybrid's very popular mechanic.
mm-hmm.
Has access to yellow. I've seen some engines playing Sylphie for the mid line. Very
Sheesh.
spicy, very
Yeah.
spicy. Um, Analog Youth's still a hell of a card.
For sure.
Being utilized by the Lobo to pop Lobo effect, popping it at the end of turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use this like as an in a, like a yellow hybrid deck, or kind of like yellow like security control even, or it's techable. Like this card's still just a really strong card. So have no doubt that like the players are gonna still find ways to utilize this,
Yeah.
to make something pretty good. But
I mean,
it's definitely it's definitely noticeably weaker after the hits.
mhm.
Being able to abuse Hammer Spark, it was one of the abusers as well as Imperial,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ukomon, this again was one of the abusers, which it was healthy for those hits because we couldn't just abuse the eggs by just bringing out multiple eggs and getting additional effects and bodies. So I'd say yeah, 1.5 is probably a good spot for this right now. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up pretty soon, using this card and this engine,
Mm-hmm.
and it just ends up being like tier one. But I think for now, people are gonna have to start like different strategies and stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll see how
It's
that
gonna
shapes
be a
up.
little bit of time for deck building to see where deck building takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, overall, like I still think it's really strong, very effective at when it does its thing. It does its thing very effective, and that's kinda,
Exactly.
like where like it's almost like it does the blue things like game memory, pop stuff.
On
Bounce
turn
back to
2, it can
hands.
put you to 3 life
Mm-hmm.
and just pop itself and reestablish a tamer and be ready to do it again next turn.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary. It can put you on the back pedal pretty quick. Very fast, consistent deck.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Cool. I think we're good there. Ancient Gray. This the new stuff for Ancient Gray.
I have like no clue about this deck really.
I haven't seen personally much play, and I know I talked to one of our like pretty Lester. Shout out to Lester, one of the tryhard guys over in like the Hanford Lemoore area. Um, he plays red hybrid pretty frequently, and when I was asking him about like what his thoughts were on the ancient Greymon stuff, like he was saying like it's great, but like eh.
Bottom of tier 2.
Yeah.
Well, at least not like, well, at least, sorry, at this point.
At this point,
Below Sins for sure.
below Shins, yeah.
Very explosive. Again, like Ancient Garurumon.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's I think now with the Uko hits, people are going to be experimenting more and deck building more.
Hmm.
So again, we'll see where this goes. But I like to just I haven't seen it perform super well.
Yeah,
Against Sim, it seems more frail than Ancient Garuru.
definitely.
And I definitely play against more Ancient Garuru than I would play against.
Hmm.
And I think there's definite lines for just nasty OTKs because red hybrid do red hybrid things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I like tier 2. Maybe actually,
Honestly,
maybe
maybe
actually higher than
depending
Sins. No. Maybe higher than Sins actually, just because it kind of wampos Sins.
for sure.
Like especially with Aldermon turning off option protection.
It's also pretty good because now like all
That's
the
pretty
option
good.
cards, yeah, all the option cards they run in Demon Lords kind of gets cucked. But yeah, I like I said, like even if like we pull up like tournament lists, like if we pull like Eggman's or where'd he go? Eggman, there we go. If we look at like Eggman events and like you go to Digimon, shout out to Eggman and their website for all this stuff. This is how we're getting our information to kind of really assess like look, BT17.5. There's been a list for it already. Like we definitely do see it performing, but like 7th place on the top 8 at a 38 man event. So it's seeing play. People are. It's.
I'm
like,
sorry, what was this event? I was distracted.
This is a BT 17.5.
Win a box? Okay.
Yes, a win a box tournament. 38 players, and it placed 7th, went 4-1.
How many? What was the conversion rate? Was he the only one? Like, did we have we have full standings?
Full standings. Ooh, okay, here we go. So
Here we go. Scroll. Can we just like scroll? Ooh, yeah. There's a. Oh wait, click the meta game tab.
Meta game.
Ooh, Yakasha. Here we go.
Oh, dude, look at all this
Perfect.
info.
This is delicious.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm
Thank you,
all
Limitless.
about
You guys
the
are
stats.
great.
Thank you so much. Where is he?
Like, there
One,
was
Hybrid.
just
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
So
just the one.
that's solid. That's a really good conversion rate.
Purple Eosmon.
Ancient Red
That's
Hybrid.
not surprising.
That's for me later, but yeah, like kind of to just go back on him, like it is a fan favorite. It's a strong deck, fragile
Very
compared
powerful
to Ancient Garu.
OTK.
And it's like one of those things where like Mario used to say it quite often. Like sometimes this deck just steals games like before you realize it.
Yep.
If you're not careful, like it's one of those things where you really do have to at least like be mindful of if you do see it in your locals and things like that. Like, and as you can see on like the list here, like it beat a lot of like before pre-ban lists. Like it's whooping. It's competing with other different decks and stuff like that as well. So like definitely
Monkey business. That's hilarious.
definitely still a very dangerous deck.
So that with those results were pre-ban list though, right?
No, that's post ban
No,
list.
no, that's
This is post
That's
ban list.
post-ban list. Wow, we
Yeah.
had 5 yellow hybrid.
Yeah, interesting.
And what took first?
First
Imperial.
was Imperial. Second
Nah.
was Yellow Vacc.
Dang, they don't have the Omni list. I'm a little disappointed. I'd very much like to see that.
Yeah, but we can definitely like look at this list as like this is 17.5 like post ban list thing. So we'll definitely get back to that. Moving on, we have Dexdoru. Oof, my son.
Pop that
dude,
boy in tier 2.
Yeah, definitely tier 2. Definitely I can speak a lot. I've been putting a lot of hours into this deck in particular. The deck's concept and what it does very well. The collision stuff when you go down its line, it does that memory efficiency that we all love when we play like ex-ante package stuff. So like you get a lot of value, a lot of card draw. You get access to analog. You get access to analog you can put anywhere, but access to Cool Boy, Protoform. So there's a lot of really cool toolkits that you use in the ex-ante package stuff, and then Dorugora and Dexdoru are just like monster of cards, very lethal, also very a reactionary deck in my opinion. So like I've been playtesting the black
control aspect.
yeah
Strong control aspects.
yeah, absolutely. because of the strong control aspect of the deck, you have to definitely know your matchups, and that's how you're gonna win games over at locals. There's some things where like you can kind of just turn your brain off, do the things that you normally do, and kind of like whoop ass like that. But I think for like playing against Imperial, playing against Fenrir, playing against Mirage, like you have to be very intuitive towards playing against those like much stronger decks that have been around for so long, because you know, the black base has protection, and as well as you have the piercing and the consistency aspect. Like for me, black base feels like more control, more consistency in card draw, memory gain. And then there's the other variant that people have been playing quite a bit lately. I'm personally a black base fan more than the purple base. The purple base, for those you don't know, is the Luca package side of the house, and it just feels like me and Hayate were talking about this earlier today. Like there just feels like there's a lot of unsolved things within this deck, either way, with black base or purple base. Like black base, you sometimes feel like you don't hit hard enough in order to kind of see endgame, and sometimes like you either deck out or like you end up like getting steamrolled because some decks just power creep harder into the end game rather than you because you're so piece reliant. And versus like a purple base, yeah, you have this crazy aggro from the alliance package and stuff, but if they have bodies on board and you can't swing through them to get your alliance into checks, then like you end up having the problem where like, oh, I kind of wish I had the piercing tamer and rather than piercing tamer Kosuke rather than like running the AG stuff. So I'm still testing a lot on it, but I still think it's a really strong deck still. I hope we see more support for it for sure.
Yeah, I definitely believe in the deck. I think you know, it has certain matchups that it does pretty well into, particularly some of the better decks that are out there. Things like Imperial, it has some decent matches into, being able to digivolve as well as force the collision, so like the Pagers have to block, and then as well as like Magna X, just that taunt to force the Magna X to swing, so you can you know, get your block and get all your effects before before they gain their protection. I think it's still a really good deck.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it might even start kind of rising a little bit, but you know, kind of yet to be seen still.
Yeah. I think it should be like lower half of tier 1.5 and like high tier 2. Like I think Dexdoru can beat these decks like Demon Lords and AncientGrey. I think it can compete pretty strongly against AncientGaru, but I don't know, like we can move it later. I don't know, how do you guys feel about like
Yeah, we'll take a look at everything
I
kind of at
like
the
high
end,
two.
see where things are shaking up.
for sure.
I agree with your take on those two. I definitely don't think it's 1.5. I definitely think it has a good matchup into AncientGaru, but other decks we're going to talk about later, I don't think it has as strong of a matchup.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. That's fine. Go ahead and move on to the next deck. The next deck we have is birds. The bird.
Bird.
Not the right birds though. Not the right bird. Ain't that right one?
The right bird ain't coming out till we got 2 weeks. 2 weeks, baby.
Yeah,
This bird is really strong. I think if you know how to play this deck, you surprise the crap out of a lot of people. You know, it always having the access to Crimson Blaze because it's a pure red deck.
Not just access, but insane tutorability with Biomon and Garuda X. Biomon tutoring it off of top 3, and Garuda X being able to take it back out of trash is bonkers.
They let you add back options, or like search
Red
options.
cards.
That's pretty good.
It's insane. No, like it has some of the best utility in like searching power in the game.
Let me
very consistent.
Was it Garuda you said?
Very demure, very mindful.
You said Garuda?
Yeah, Garuda X.
Garuda X. Let's pull that.
I believe it's
quick.
Right there.
There we go. Excuse me. Garuda X. A cost 3 to Digivolve AKDP. Digivolve for 0 for a regular Garuda. On play, when Digivolving, you may return one of your red Digimon cards from your trash to your hand, then one Garuda or X animal.
red Digimon.
Red Digivolution Source,
It,
and then
it be searches it, not the
Yeah.
Garuda. My bad.
yeah, and then delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or as less DP as his Digimon. And then your turn, once per turn, when a red card returns from trash to hand, one of your Digimon gains Rush, as well as on deletion, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Really strong card.
I believe it's Phoenix X. That's turns your on deletions to end of attack effects.
Yeah.
Phoenix X Andy? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the big bad. Yeah, Phoenix X, 13 play cost, 5 for Digivolve. Digivolve's 2 over base Phoenix. When Digivolving, have Blitz, so its own Omni pretty much. Your turn while Phoenixmon or X Andy is in the sources, attach end of attack to all of the Digimons on deletion effects. On deletion, you may play one 11k DP or lower red Digimon with Avian, Bird, Beast, Animal, or Sovereign other than Sea Animal and one of its traits from your hand without paying the cost. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon that's much or less DP as the Digimon that the effect played.
That's pretty good.
And its whole stack, due to the way the archetype is printed, your whole stack is going to have on deletions. You're going to have 5 end of attacks.
Yeah.
I honestly like 1.5 for this deck. It also has Blitz.
Mm-hmm. Blitz, the
huge.
X Andy has Blitz on it.
Biomon from BT14 again, huge tutor.
Mm-hmm.
It searches your whole deck. Garuda recurs all your Digimon line.
Mm-hmm.
You get access to Valkyrie Ace. Valkyrie Ace is a red Digimon, so you can recur that.
Mm-hmm.
Mwah.
Yeah. Like, what do you think?
Crimson Blaze.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think it has struggles with any particular matchups?
I think Imperial's a little bit annoying for it. Sure,
Decks that are faster.
resolve like Crimson Blaze, you can kind of hurt Imperial quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But just Imperial just going up to its Pyeldramon, like as long as it's able to go up to a Pyeldramon, it's gonna like halt the aggression of the deck as well as take away all the sources.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course if it goes up into fighters, it's just bottom deck stuff. So just kind of rip the deck. Same thing with Paladin mode, just bottom deck everything. So
Definitely needs its sources.
definitely wants its sources and wants to try to proc on deletions. So Imperial taking away all the sources and bottom decking things, it's pretty
It
fucked
does
up.
not like blue.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna have some rough matchups for sure, but still, I
Very
definitely
strong
think.
otherwise.
Yeah, I think if blue wasn't so strong, we would definitely see this deck kind of rise a little bit. But again, yeah, just the decks that are around there that are going to be really strong, like Mirage, Ancient, and Imperial. I think there's no way of seeing that as tier 1 right now. I would even maybe like consider it even like high tier 2, just because again that you're going to start noticing a theme of the decks that are towards the top.
Yeah.
Big surprise, it's blue right now. It's a blue format, so again, I just think because it is, Phoenixmon's just gonna struggle a little bit more.
Yeah, like I mean, in terms of like results, like we have seen it like show up in results at like larger events. So there is like
special.
Yeah, go ahead.
They did have a really good matchup into Numa.
Yeah.
So it was also very popular then.
Yeah, and I know one of our guys at locals. Shout out to Zane.
My bird buddy.
Yeah, big OG of this deck. Zane has been playing this deck for a very long time. Great pilot for it, and and seeing him play, like he can consistently he can consistently top or at least play well against into the format and stuff. So like we do see it on a local level. Like it's strong. It can win tournaments, and as well as like you're seeing it into what's it called, into higher level play, like large box tournaments, this and that. And so very strong deck for sure.
Yeah, it was the last undefeated for the Riverside regionals in California. Yeah, it was the last undefeated deck going into round 9. I mean, unfortunately it lost the last round, but it was the last true undefeated, so that tells you something right there.
For sure. Okay, cool. Move on to Diaboromon.
No, you had it. You had it. You're fine.
Yeah, sorry, Diaboromon fans. Cool card. Great.
I have zero faith in this deck.
Yeah, let me just pull it up real quick. Diaboromon. Where do you go?
It's
There he
mainly
is.
the ace and the new one.
Yeah.
I
So
believe.
from the
I'm not gonna lie,
aces.
I barely know how this deck works. I barely have to read the cards when I'm playing against it on Sim.
Mhm.
I've been playing a lot of bunnies, and it does not like its tokens being minus 4K and being suspended constantly.
Yeah. I just think
So, oh, sorry.
I was just saying, like, I just think there's a lot of removal in the game with the current trend of decks. I feel like every deck, and as well as like every color has like a strong, like removal package or like deletion, DP deletion, bounce back to hand, bot deck, you name it, like swing through it, you name it. Like, I feel like the token stuff is like cool, like it's proliferating. It's like pretty, like as me and Wyatt love in like the Digimon TCG,
I
very
love Pokemon.
lore accurate, right?
We
I just
love lore accurate decks.
yeah. I just don't know. I just don't think it's going to be competing well with like everything that is like above. Like you go into AncientGaru, AncientGaru is just going to swing through your stuff, and it's going to do it way faster than Diaboromon. Diaboromon can like set up into its things. Phoenixmon is going to run through it. DP deletion, all the things. Swinging hard. Imperial is just going to Paildramon before you can even like see your first Diaboromon.
Well, Imperial's gonna say, "I'm at Dragon mode. Play your token. I beg you."
Exactly right. So like
Yeah.
I mean, glad it's seeing that support and that it's a fan favorite like villain
I-
Digimon.
I'm definitely gonna say we're being pretty harsh on the deck right now. By no means do I think it's unplayable. Tier 3 is like you can take it to locals and high roll some games, and you might bubble your way up into like third.
Yeah,
Diabora. You'd have to be a really good pilot and just miss some matchups.
yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
sure.
Like 100p. It also has the clock. I don't know how
Oh
that
yeah,
clock
right.
works. It just
Yeah,
auto wins
that's right.
games. It has the first ever win
Clock of the
condition.
End. Yeah, let's look that card up a little bit.
Apocalypse clock. Clock of I
Clock
win
of
the
the
game
End?
clock.
Doomsday
Clock.
Clock.
Doomsday Clock.
Yeah, add a
Cool card.
3-drop, play one Diaboromon token without paying the cost, and place this card as the bottom a source of one of your Diaboromon cards in its name without Doomsday Clock in its Digisources. What the Digimon cost 14, level 6, white mega, unknown, unidentified, 3k DP. And then start of your
Great
turn if
token.
yeah, and then at start of your turn if your battle area has 4 placed Doomsday Clocks, you win the game. All turns for the inheritable. All turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area by an opponent's effect. By deleting one of your other Diaboromon, you prevent it from leaving. End of opponent's turn. Place one Doomsday Clock from this Digimon sources into the battle area at the end of opponent's turn. Yeah, cool card. Cool.
Very neat. Very cool.
Very neat card.
Very Namir.
So someone's just been brain rotting, guys.
That Demir
Yeah.
that Demir thing has
You
got
can-
me on blast right now.
But for sure, definitely, I think tier 3 is the correct answer for this. Maybe.
Yeah. No, we'll keep it in 3. I think it's a bit gimmicky, but like we'll save the rip spot for this next deck.
Yeah, for sure. Next deck we're gonna be talking about is
Eosmon.
Yeah, Eosmon. Sorry, guys.
Respect the butterfly. Cool deck. Got some really cool support. It just doesn't really do anything. It creates really big numbers during your turn. I've put significant time with it on Sim with it's kind of a cube control deck. If you run into decks where your opponent like heavily relies on tamers, you can just steal games. Due to its main thing of turning off tamer on play effects and not letting tamers unsuspend. Unsuspend during start of main phase. So it turns most of your opponent's tamers into one-time use effects, or no effects at all. But it takes too long to set up and establish, and it gives your opponent a lot of free cards.
Dang.
Yeah, unfortunately so. But again, one of those things where like I'm glad like as someone who like wishes like all all cool cards and all Digimon get like their support. Like it got its support, but I think it's one of those things where like you just want to play to have fun. But if you're trying to get into the competitive scene, I don't think this is the place to start. Unfortunately,
No, I don't think so either.
but yeah, that's okay though. Like I said, sorry Eosmon fans, but continue playing, man. Play what you love. That's always our best interest as like fans of the game. But
sure.
next deck, FenrirTake.
I
Why,
think this one might
I
have to
want
be our
either
first
top of
tier
1.5
one.
or I was gonna say either tier 1 or top of 1.5. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I have very much not great things to say about this deck in terms of its card design. Very very linear. Only needs like 8 cards to do its thing, and its thing is win the game. It takes very little what's the word? Thought. Like very little
Yeah.
choice. Like it's very little choice. You know exactly what you're gonna do, and you know exactly what cards you're gonna do it with.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is check top 5. Literally, you can know if you're gonna win by your opening hand, and then seeing what your opponent flips their egg.
Yeah.
It has an
Yeah.
insanely rough matchup with Imperial. It does not like getting Crimson Blazed, but is faster than most decks that play Crimson Blaze.
Yeah, for sure.
Analog Youth, cracked. Probably one of the best abusers of Analog Youth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Also, Helugomon, insane removal. You, I mean, I've Digivolved up in the Take with 2 memory, and then drew my Digivolved up into Fenrir for with 2 remaining memory. Hard slammed the that I finally drew into off of the Digivolve.
Yeah.
Passed my opponent to 10, and then triggered Take from trash and just won the game from there.
Jesus.
He's like, "Oh, I get to play with 10 memory? No. It's still my turn, and now you're dead."
What do you mean it's
So,
still your turn?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
cheats the
have
memory
very-
gauge.
Yeah. Honestly, what a crazy mechanic.
I hate this deck.
Like-
I hate it.
Like, what a crazy mechanic
It's so
to
good.
just
It's
like
so
let me just
bonkers.
take the memory gauge rule and just like not
Throw it out
it's,
the
it's still
window.
my turn. Yeah. Effectively,
Yeah.
really really strong. I agree. Like definitely, it seems like extremely linear. I feel like
Beyond.
you're kind of just. I feel like FenrirTake or Fenrir just in general, like you just kind of just playing by yourself. Like you kind of you're playing solitaire by yourself, and then like they're dead. Like oh cool.
It doesn't care about. It can dodge most tamer interaction. Only thing it really doesn't like is things like Quartz, Paledramon, Crimson Blaze, Floodgates. It can't also interact with. If you put a body on board, it's combo.
One more time. You cut out for a sec.
Oh, sorry. It doesn't do well with floodgates that it can't interact with. If you put a body on board, like a floodgate with on a stick, it's gonna remove it. That floodgate will not be on board by the time Fenrir is doing what it wants to do.
I mean, as long as the floodgate's not just preventing it from doing what it wants to do.
Correct. Yeah, correct. In most cases, because with the Dex engine, was you're popping level 4 or lowers on your way up.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it on its way up. So
Oof.
like, how much removal this deck has is pretty crazy.
It's,
Like from the
you're
level
doing it
4
at, yeah,
decks,
exactly at level 4
then
Dex.
you have the level 5 with the
Popping in a level 6 careless body, so it goes out your second floodgate, and then Fenrir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Popping 10k or less. There goes your third floodgate. End of turn effect for Kazuchimon, minus 6k. There goes your fourth floodgate.
Yeah.
DNA, minus 16k. There goes your fifth floodgate.
Yep.
So it removes 5 bodies on its way up,
Yeah.
from level 4 all the way up to level 7. Recovers potentially 2, denies your opponent turn, and swings 19 times. I have no, again, very very strong, very very powerful. Doesn't
Yeah.
need much to do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like
mechanic
again,
with
big
trashing
cards in the
security to
game.
trash your opponent's security and then having the ability to unsuspend and do it again with Alliance just means like you can put your opponent in lethal like pretty much instantly. Like one
The
check and
second they're
then
four,
yeah, one
you
as
get
I'm
a
saying,
chip
like
in
one
with a
cheeky
Nuko.
check in and then like then they're in like lethal. Um so yeah, I think the deck is insanely strong. Like I don't think it has any super bad
Dude,
matchups. Literally just like just some floodgate effects like Crimson Blaze, or like if you have to play around a dragon mode or something, that's going to be really annoying.
I have
Um,
seen people remove the Fenrir. That was you, haha, with Togemogu.
huh?
And you
Oh yeah, no, Togemogu's a mean card. If your opponent doesn't sequence right and
sorry,
like
that's Imperial. I'll be quiet.
yeah, no, yeah, if things don't get sequenced right, then like Togemogu coming out from a Pyeldramon that got
Yeah.
popped can still
Mhm.
interact pretty nicely with the swing, just because you can still strip the top source, and the top source of Take should be Fenrir Lugo, which is the thing that's letting them still turn from you. So you can kind of like almost just still turn back from them by getting rid of that with just the Togemogu. But that's just like one of the interactions. I'd say like
Yeah,
more
that's
so more so the things that you're really banking on against this matchup is Dragon Mode and the Pyeldramon just to prevent them from unsuspending. So as long as you can just resolve that the turn before, you're usually not in like any big risk of dying. And they don't have like anything to
blown the
interact.
fuck up.
Yeah, they have like nothing to interact with you, and their security's super free. So as long as you can just keep yourself from dying, then you could just like reverse kill them.
Yeah, I think. I mean, like, I haven't played the deck too much myself. Like, I played it very loosely. Like Wyatt telling me, like, "Hey, play this, dude. Play this and find out the power." Um, it's tier one, just because
Ow!
I think it has probably one of the most explosive like attack power in like our current like format of like Digimon and where it is in terms of like damage potential. Like it just swings super hard, like these guys mentioned earlier. I think the
You
thing
can
that's
win
gonna
on turn two.
exactly. I think the what's it called? I think the thing that's gonna gatekeep this deck, if you will, is I feel like it's a very you have to be an experienced like player to play this deck. Um, in terms of just like
Yeah,
this,
you can miss sequence it pretty hard
yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've definitely have seen a couple. Well, I played like FenrirTake against other people in our like locals area in the Central Valley area, and it's one of those things where like I'm playing against Wyatt, who's played Fenrir since like when it first came out, and then played the FenrirTake, and then like I get mollywopped like probably like every other day by FenrirTake, and then like I come to play against like someone at locals, and like you can tell it's like they're Loki kind of learning the deck and like this that and the other. So. Um, not to dismiss
Locals is
people
where
from
we go to
trying to
learn. It's
yeah
okay.
not trying to dismiss people or like trying to wane people off from wanting to play the deck. I think it's still a great deck, but do be ready for learning like being like trying to learn this at a higher level. I think it'll challenge you as a player, so definitely a great deck though. Pretty
For
fun
sure.
for sure.
Something you just want to like just drill because the combo is not like insanely complicated, but like there are some sequencing things that you want to try to get right. Um, and you just want those repetition like hours, just making sure you're comfortable doing it.
Low key, just play solitaire with that deck. You'll don't just ignore choke yourself. Haha. No, but choke yourself unless you have Mim Tamer. Try to force yourself to play through with minimal memory, and you'll learn that deck very well, pretty quickly.
Yeah, as long as you have two memory, you can pretty much do everything.
For sure. Okay,
The pieces
cool.
are where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Okay. So, next deck we have is a Crimson or Gallant, the Gallant deck.
Boo, tier 3.
Damn. With the quickness. I think over
Uh,
Diaboromon.
Yeah, probably over
I don't care.
Okay.
Man, the support from BT17 is so absolutely mid.
Yeah. I
Fingers crossed for secret or get Crimson mode for BT19. Let's go, baby.
I mean even I it makes me sad because I fucking love Crimson Gallant Crimson Crimson
I
Gallant.
love Gallant.
Like Gallant in
You
general.
can
I
just
just
say it. We love
just
Gallant.
I just love him, man.
I love him.
He's so cool,
No.
bro. Like both like show wise. I mean, sorry. Let me digress. Let me get back. He's just a great, cool looking card. The ace phenomenal. Like I'll let me glaze Gallant
Medieval
for the ends of my
best.
yeah. But just like I personally never just been a big fan of like his DP delete stuff. I just feel like it hasn't aged well. Except when they dropped that War Growlmon ace, dude, recently.
That
Like,
card is bonkers
dude,
good.
that joint.
I'm not gonna lie.
That joint go crazy.
Can we look it up real quick?
Gallant was
Yeah,
my
yeah.
first competitive
It's good.
deck back into the game, and I played a lot of it during BT9 and into 10. I basically played it until the game said this is no longer a playable deck, and then it's continued to stay an unplayable deck.
Dude, don't.
So yeah, I love it, and I hope BT19 can fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say it probably suffers a bit from being a red deck in a blue format. But besides that, it does get to play Crimson Blaze, and I'd say, I guess it should be at least the most efficient user of the card, just because you're able to like go all the way up into to like 8k with that card, as well as proccing your other effects to gain like those deletion thresholds
Yeah.
increase.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of good. Like against Partition, if you just hit the 8k threshold and you activate Crimson Blaze to kill a Pyldramon, like they can't Partition.
Dunzo.
So yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Here I have the for any of you future Gallant fans. This is
That's
dude. This card, guys. This
good.
card. This is a
BT19.
great card. Okay.
good.
It says Mega Gargo or Mega War Growlmon for our translation. Ace card 5-drop, dude. 5-drop on a level 5, dude. Is so good. 3 for Digivolve, AKDP. When played, when Digivolving, delete opponent's Digimon with a DP total of 3k or less. For each of your opponent's Digimon in play, increase the maximum DP total that you can delete via this effect by 2k. Then, for each Digimon deleted via this effect, gain a memory.
It's a
Damn.
walking Crimson Blaze,
Dude,
baby.
it's so good. And then end of turn inheritable effect. Both players turns, all turns. The maximum DP that you can delete by this Digimon's effect is increased by 3k.
3k, that's a
It
number.
is insane. That turns Crimson Mode Ace to an 18k minimum threshold. It's
Damn.
bonkers.
Dude, I can't.
This card is mwah.
Dude, if this is what
Eating good
if
Gallant
this
players.
is War Growlmon, dude, I can't wait to see like the. Whew,
I believe we've already seen the Gallant for this set, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember, but
I know we've seen the Geel, and we just saw the Calomon.
yeah.
We'll get Team 19 reaction when we get there.
For sure. But yeah, nonetheless, unfortunately, as of right now, just doesn't have the tools necessary to kind of compete in like the against the tier 2s, 1.5s and up. We'll go ahead and move on from that. Next up, we have Kazuchi or Pulse. I know Wyatt's been putting a lot of hours into that. Like, yeah, tell us about it, Wyatt.
It's a mistake. Toss that bitch into rip.
Rip.
No,
Was it cope? Was it cope? Was it cope?
No, it's not cope. It's just like it doesn't die, but it doesn't kill anyone. I've never had a bad time piloting the deck. I've gone from like literally 0 life to all the way back up to 4, and then back down to 1, back up to 3, back up to 4. It's a very fun deck, but there's just no real way for it to kill. What it's really missing, in my opinion, its 6s needed a way to shift over each other.
That'd been cool.
But
I mean,
or like to like maybe like go under the 5 so you can do 6. I don't know. We've seen decks with that mechanic before, so it's not super unique. It's already a Mind Link deck. You can never pass it to 1 memory. It will promote BT17 Pulse and then go to 3. If you give it 3, it'll go to 6. It's kind of cray-cray. But it just doesn't do a whole lot of things outside of control. It's almost like a better yet worse kill Secon.
yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's Secon with less
it's
tools.
it's new age Setcon, but not as dude. Because like okay, I think it was like end of last weekend for locals. Like Wyatt built it up just cause he wanted to, and we were playing
It's so
testing.
much fun.
And I was
I
playing,
played a lot on
dude.
Sim to cope.
And I was playing like Doragora, and I was like, dude, why the fuck isn't this dude dying? Like, dude, I just need him to die, please, bro. He went from like 1 life, stayed at 1 life for a really long time, and then he went up to 4 life, and I was like, dude, I'm about to deck out. Like, can you die?
And then and then Take Mikazuchi basically being a Venusmon when Leon's in stack. Cool card.
Very fun.
It very fun.
Fun factor high.
Ooh,
But
you know what? It's a tankier but worse Rapidmon.
okay, that's a perspective for sure.
That's one way to look at it. But yeah, rip. That not it's not really a deck, but it's cool. I love it nonetheless.
That's okay. Moving on, we have hold on.
Ooh, this
We have,
thing tossing the 1.5 next to its brother.
Yeah, the Gabubond variant for hybrid.
Honestly, we probably should have talked about this when we did the AncientGaru talk because it's the exact same deck but with a mad engine.
Yeah. But I mean, it's there's time for now, so.
I actually put it right under Dexdoru because I just popped the mat and it's over.
Right
sorry,
under
pretty...
Dexdoru.
Look, I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. You pop that mat, it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm not completely sure like where it's gonna go now. I mean, losing the Louis is gonna hurt the deck like quite a bit because you know you're still gonna have your ways to recycle breeding area with the analog, but not being able to move out your thing like consistently, it's definitely gonna hurt its like early pressure with that deck. Versatility, surprisability, efficiency, like just a lot. I feel like maybe even this one like suffered more than the other one. Maybe because like this one doesn't actually run the Ukomons, right?
I think yeah.
It plays a little bit.
Maybe like the
I think you
or
play
two, the promo
yeah,
one.
you play a smaller package for sure. BT16 to switch your mats. On the promote, still really good. But you mainly focused on the Gabus. I saw Liz playing 16 rookies.
Yeah, I know. What's his name? Blue Flare Jesse was playing this against me, the Gabubond variant of it, and like, I popped this mat, had 2 Digi Emperors out, and it was just like, what are you gonna do?
That yeah, it loses really hard to Digi Emperor, and I think that's still something you have to kind of factor in looking into the meta. It's not a deceased card. It's gonna see less play until people realize, oh no, rookies with sort of main phase effects are too powerful still. Let's keep this in our deck.
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna end up being a control stable card in the future.
I love Digi Emperor, dude. I love that die.
Yeah, I think
it's funny. Pay your taxes, dude.
I hate that card. Literally though, it's Digimon. It's Digimon's first tax card, or not first, but one of the first, one of the strongest tax cards in Digimon.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Nume, dude.
Put that in like I don't know, bottom of tier 2, top of tier 3.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Maybe not bottom. I don't know. I would definitely want to see what people who really want to put.
So let's. You know, I think I've never played the deck myself, but I have a crap ton of testing against this deck.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, it's hard to say because some of the top end of this deck got hit pretty hard with the Nume X getting hit to 1. So now you're not able to turbo out Ruin as consistently. Like you could just, in some instances, if you if you start with the Jerrymon, go into this, pitching the Platinum, turn 2 you can swing, get yourself killed, go into Platinum, and then just turn 2 Ruin mode your opponent, which turn 2 Ruin mode is just crazy. But now like the consistency of that is down quite a bit. It also lost one Lu at least, because I've seen a lot of lists were playing 2, as well as the Ukomon. So it did take quite a bit of hits, but I still think the deck's going to be okay. I
You just
think,
shoved floodgates in there, baby.
yeah, I think, yeah, playing more Protoform, playing more Floodgates, you can play the Cherubi
Protoform's gonna
Ace
go
now.
so ridiculously importantly hard in that deck now to recycle your Numax.
You still have the Edamon Vacc combo, which is one of the most busted, like, 2-card combos in this game still. I still think the deck is really strong. I'm not even, like, because, like, it was holding up tier 1 for the longest time. I think it was, like, by far like the strongest tier, not by far, but by a good margin, it was the strongest tier 1 deck for like very consistently. I think its only issue ever really was Mirage. I mean, like, it doesn't have the perfect Imperial matchup, but like no deck has a perfect Imperial matchup. But as far as like still going into Imperial, it doesn't have like a terrible matchup because it doesn't have to rely off of unsuspending a bunch, just having to field a bunch of mons. I still think the deck is strong. I still think that Numemon players are going to find ways to make it annoying, make it good. Like maybe increasing the Numemon Satsuki package that they're running. Maybe
Oh,
increasing the
true,
number
true.
of mats, like the memory setter, so you're more likely to have that 3 memory. I think like the deck's probably still even going to be tier point or 1.5. I'd say very
Ooh, that's
very
bold.
much like the highest of 2. Um, would be probably closer to
People are
correct.
still gonna want to play it after the hit, though. I know a lot of people are
I
just
hope
gonna
people
drop it,
won't.
and
I
I
hope
hope
people won't.
people do.
But I still doesn't mean just because people are gonna be playing
I
it less, that doesn't mean it's a bad deck. Like I still think
yeah,
it's
I
a good deck.
still Numemon's it's such a popular Digimon in terms of design, so I can't see it going away, especially because it was so powerful and still has a really good utility engine in its own archetype.
Hmm.
So I think I agree with a lot of Peach's points. I don't think I have too much else to add, actually.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be seeing more Rapid X too, since they're probably gonna be doing Protoform more often, and you don't have the Numemon X as a target for Protoform anymore. So
Stop drawing attention to my baby.
yeah. And I think Rapid X is an insanely strong card. Um, yeah, just Floodgate turning sideways is pretty nice.
Mhm. Moving on, we have Ragna Lord.
Ooh, I got a fun little. I like this in the middle of tier 2
Little tier 2, like
or
above.
high tier 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
this
that's fair.
yeah,
this deck is like
right there. Yeah.
nearly unstoppable once it gets rolling. Does not give a shit what your opponent does. Does not care about your opponent's security. Huge numbers, raids into whatever's on the board.
Raid
Pierces
strong.
through all of it. Huge numbers, massive sec check. It's an inconsistent mess.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Uh,
the
but
TLDR of the deck.
it's gotten 3 waves of support and has a lot of tools.
Mhm.
So it's the right mishmash of having really powerful cards that only really want the names and having fairly strong support with weaker names alongside it.
Yeah,
Uh, you have 12. So you have 3 of each, Brywilda and Durunda. So, huge, 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 huge. And you also have 3 Ragnas to choose from. Very, very huge, very versatile. Can do a lot of different things. It can flex into the format. It can go into a red base if you want to play more Crimson Blazes. I've seen people go more black base for control with the D-Digivolve packages. It has a tons of
yeah.
protection.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely has all the things that just read really good deck,
Yeah.
but just struggles insanely from the consistency issue.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's kind of
when
like a
it sees
Greymon
its
deck.
pieces, it feels like a tier 1 deck. But yeah, not always seeing its pieces is just gonna always be its bane. So
Mm.
I think that's like honestly, I think it's one of my favorite picks for the format. Like I wanna see it do more. I just am not the
I
person to play it.
I'm certainly a believer of this deck's going to be like rising
Hmm.
in potential because of everything else getting hit, and this one not really seeing anything off the list for it. I mean, not that it deserved anything to get hit in this deck. The deck is like, it reads well, but it's still fair compared to
Uh,
all the cards we're getting nowadays.
mhm.
So, I like middle of tier 2.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like if you low roll, you're gonna get pretty much locked by anything in tier 2.
But then you
But
can actually, yeah, you can actually beat some of the higher tier decks if you just high roll
ex-
your opponent.
exactly,
It's pretty crazy how that works.
very very strong deck. Should we move on to
Yep.
the
Yep.
tier the one of one?
No question. No question. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're here for the yap session. Let's go.
Yep, go
Yeah.
for it. Peaches, this
Gosh.
is all you. I'm gonna go refill my water. Peaches, I'll be right back.
Okay,
Take it
let
away.
me glaze my freaking my deck for a while here. As it's been stated on this channel for a while, the deck has I've been on this deck for a long time, and it has never felt stronger than it does right now. After that ban list, like if you're talking about winners of the ban list, Imperial just it just you know as Van Dye was picking cards to hit, just keeping its head down, looking left, looking right, trying to pretend like it's not there. The tamer for this deck is insane. Sure, it loses to certain like floodgates and stuff, but still, like when you're able to just resolve these and just like go unpunished, um, it's crazy. You can dig through all of your pieces with the rookies. You're stripping sources. It's like Sorai plus gaining memory. The new option card goes crazy. So it like not only did it get better because the ban list hurt the things around it, it also just got more support in its most recent wave of support. So the Return to Progenitor I think is an insane card. Um, it's not even like just being able to use it like proactively during your turn to go up, but also using it either defensively or the next turn when you have that thing set, just killing your mon on purpose just so you can get a free Evo. I think just goes absolutely bananas. It doesn't really have any bad matchups. The only thing is some decks have some favorable matchups into it, and that's like the mark of if you can even like hang in this meta. Is it can you do something like to Imperial? Like what can you do to disrupt it? What can you do to keep its partition from proccing? What can you do to stop it from evoing into its bigger Digimon? Like you have to have some answers to these to realistically be competitive into this meta. Not just competitive, but win consistently into this meta. Because I think this deck dictates that now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The deck just it's so strong, man. Like even just like the Paildramon stuff. Like, you guys have like 2-3 Paildramons now, right?
So well, I mean, we have more than that, but as far as like playable Pailder ones, realistically, it's only ever been like the three.
Yeah.
So the BT16 one with the partition, the BT12 one, the one that sort strips 3 and then end of attack not once per turn. You gain a memory, and then then the structure deck one that swings twice with the bottom deck of 6K.
But like even then, that level 5 threshold for Imperial, let's just talk about Paildramon, right?
Just Paildramon is insane.
Yeah,
Not to mention getting into its top end, like it's craziness.
like just Paildramon, like doing the mid game work is so good and so strong and effective. Super memory efficient one. Like bodies on board is another, and especially with like Toga, also like abusing Toga has like never been better.
Lydra and Togemogu, like those two give your deck a really strong low end, and then Pyldra gives your deck like the strongest mid end in the deck, and then like fighter mode and paladin mode probably give your deck the strongest top end in the game. So it's like you're not lacking at any level with this deck.
It definitely feels like at every stage of the game, like early, mid, and late game, like you have an answer at just being really effective in all those areas and being really responsive at the same time. Like the deck's both responsive, but also like there's a huge aggression that you can push forward to advance board state, and as well as like apply pressure and like so many flexible ways. Like very like it looks very fun to play, and I'm very happy that like as Peach has been playing it for so long, he's gone through the slump of like when he was still playing Imperial when it was dog water, guys, or like when everything
came
else
out of
was
it the womb playing Imperial.
BT11, BT13, 14, like we stay on this.
He literally woke up from brain surgery. We handed him Imperial and said, "Go take care of them. Go take care of The
No,
locals, I can
there
talk.
we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
For sure.
Jesus.
But yeah, like unquestionably after the ban list, best deck in the format right now, and I think it's going to be like that for quite a while. If do you think it needs to get hit, guys?
It could have gotten
Progenitor
hit, like in my
definitely
opinion.
needs
Yeah.
to get looked at.
Like, yeah, I mean, like Progenitor is certainly a strong card, but I think if you hit the Davis and
The
Ken,
Weekend, yeah.
you do a lot. So you're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
take away the reliable way
def.
of having the having both
The
colors.
sort. Mhm.
You're going to be taking away the consistency of seeing that card goes down like an insane amount because you wanna realistically see your tamers in security. It's like just the freest way to play them. So not being able to play multiples is gonna just affect that like a ton. So if they hit the tamer, I think that would do a ton to tow down the deck. As well as certain decks have like Digimon protection, but not option or not sorry not option not tamer
Tamer
protection.
protection.
Like not very many things unless your effect says this Digimon's unaffected have tamer protection, and you just brutalize any mon with your strip 3 selective sources. It's
And
crazy.
confirm. Shit sucks.
Yep.
You need a name in your source? Haha. You
Yeah.
need a tamer in your source? Haha.
Yeah.
Selective
Mhm.
strip 3 is bonkers.
It is
I hate
bonkers.
that card.
Yeah. Again, like I said, definitely strong. Almost like easily. Oh, actually, except for like I was gonna say like the accessibility behind getting this deck like put together too is also like.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Well, hold
I'd
on.
say
Hold on. Minus those pale
I
Dramons,
mean,
Kyle Dramon, like that's the only card. Like maybe what is it? Like 20s right now? Maybe like 18s.
but. Mhm.
So, you can build a tier 1 deck for like under what $100.
Mhm.
either way,
Yeah.
it's Digimon expensive, which isn't expensive
Yeah, it's not.
in card games terms.
No, yeah, exactly. $100, get a tier 1 deck. That's pretty good.
For sure. Okay. I think we can close that out there. For
Yeah.
Omnimon.
Hey, I like this as a tier 2 competitor. Like somewhere, probably in between Ancient Garemon, and yeah, somewhere like there.
Actually,
Somewhere there is
I
fine.
I think there.
You just disrespect. You just absolutely do not like the matte version.
No, I don't.
Zero respect.
I think it's just too easy to deal with, man. Like I said, you kill
I
Matt. You kill Matt in like.
yeah, it's super linear. How many decks actually have ways to pop Tamers?
Yeah. Well, 1, 2, 3.
Imperial does
Wait.
not pop tamers.
And
Did you
neither
bot
does
take it?
Take.
No, Imperial just
Okay, fine.
suspends
Out
and
of the-
prevents.
out of your source.
I'm just
months
biased
and
towards my
stuff.
matchup to it.
You really are, but that's fine. I don't really care. I think it lost the most losing Louis. So
Mhm. But yeah, Omnimon.
personally, yeah. Really cool deck. Options like Progenitor, but archetype isn't as strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some really good cards, but then it also has some kind of lackluster cards. If it's able to pull off its combo, it can seem kind of oppressive.
Mhm.
It
Seems really
gets rid
high
of like
rolly.
yeah, definitely high rolling. I'd say somewhere in the vein of Ragna Lord, except for this is an ace that doesn't have protection itself.
It needs like one more solid wave of support dedicated to this strategy for Omnimon.
Yeah. I honestly think it needs something in lines of protection because Ragna Lord has it. Like your sevens having some form of protection as an ace Digimon, I think is kind of important. Um, yeah, because the overflow was it 5? That's just
Overvote 5
Yeah,
for a very
override
easy.
for.
Which, I
yeah,
mean, the
just a
Omnimon
lot.
by itself is a very powerful finisher, but the deck doesn't really make it to be a finisher. It wants to be a reactive piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It can kind of be
Um,
both, just because
yeah,
the
yeah,
new the new
yeah,
mat
100%.
lets you attack at the end, so that's kind of nice because you can like attack and then shred security.
Also has Alter B, Merciful Mode, X
Yeah,
Omnimon X. It has a ton of huge variety of tools. Again, I think Omnimon needs one more dedicated wave of support dedicated to this strategy.
Hmm.
Which I mean, it's the first of its kind for Omnimon, so
Yeah.
it's the first Omnimon dedicated deck. So other than like Alter S, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Alter. I like Omnimon somewhere around like the lower end of tier 2.
Yeah. In my matches against it during locals this weekend, like it didn't feel very threatening until like you saw like the Omni pretty much, but the road to get there for them is kind of like kind of difficult. It feels like it has like search and tutor capabilities, but you're also extremely piece reliant. Like my opponent was telling me that he kept drawing into the Magna Guru but couldn't see the War Gray or like vice versa, and so but like when he's able to do what like the deck's intended for, like it feels like it can compete, but that kind of like lower end struggle where like you know everyone else is like early game is like crazy fast or crazy strong or very oppressive board removal, just blockers, defenders, popping monsters, this all that stuff. Like I just don't think the like it loses out in the early game because everything else is just so much faster, and it has to pedal back and catch up really hard in the top end. Albeit the top end is like pretty effective and strong, but because of that low end, I don't think it can keep pace. There's a pace of play issue with it, I think, and that's where I have my issue with it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, moving on. Shine Gray is one of my favorites, dude.
place it above Dorio X. It's like top of tier 2 IMO.
You hate me.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, like I would even consider this deck maybe even tier 1.5.
I
I
personally
think
would just need to see more out of it, but I could see it definitely going in there.
Is it
it
over? Is
has.
it
I
over
feel
Nume
like
right
it
now?
has all the tools. Yeah,
It
I mean, I think
might
it.
be a
I
little
think it.
early to tell, but they're I'd say on par with each other. Like
Hmm.
both have insane access to ruin mode. The new Shine is sticky as hell. Burst mode's good. Of course, you could just turn 2, kill your opponent as per usual. It still does that.
And the ace is really good. Like
Ace
being
is
able to
really
suspend out your
good.
Marcuses
Uh,
plus get
What the burst
multiple
mode is?
security checks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I low-key think Awakening of the Sun is underrated. It plays a little expensive for 3, but in tandem with the new Shine, really good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay keeping it at top of tier 2. I do just think that this is going to be one of the decks that, out
It
of a
does
lot
still
of the
suffer
decks,
from being a Greymon deck and just auto-bricking.
Yeah.
but yeah, getting a bump just because of everything around it that got hit. I think
Mhm.
this deck has some potential.
For sure. Okay. Next deck in the list is Armor, the armor package magnet stuff.
Uh,
Yeah, interesting. So
uh,
this deck, this was
Higher than
another one of the
Ragna.
decks. Yeah, this was another one of those decks that kind of got
I wouldn't
that
hate
got
that.
touched, but definitely did not die. I think Loki the deck was kind of getting power crept just a little bit just by everything going like super wide and stuff and having options to do that against this deck. And then obviously Awakening getting hit to 1 hurts the deck a fair bit. Just
Significantly.
yeah, losing its versatility, losing its
Actually makes your Shine
efficiency.
and your Numemon matchup worse.
Yeah, so definitely got toned down. So, it was probably tier 1 like at lowest 1.5 deck. So I'd say top of tier 2. That sounds like a very fair spot for
Hmm.
this deck. It
Yeah.
still does have, 4 of the black and blue Magnamon. It still can go into Magnamon X over your 4s, so it's like you could still just do
You
a
can
turn 2
still have a
Magna.
turn 2 Magna X and just yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be
It,
more expensive, and your opponent's going to be able to do more things to out it.
Hmm.
But still, certain decks, if they just don't have reliable ways to get around this thing,
Yeah.
they're going to struggle. And you can still run Heaven's Judgment or Death X
Hmm.
or whatever you want to ruin mode even to out your opponent's wide boards if they decide to go right against you.
Hmm.
So I think all around the deck's still really strong and still super viable. The new Flamon that it got, also a really strong card, a way for it to
Mhm.
reliably proc its own Magnemon X's now.
Yeah.
Flame
Um,
Dramon.
yeah, the new Flamedramon, and then like a level 4 shredding security is just kind of bonkers to
Huge.
me.
Yeah.
Um, so I still think the deck is still in a fun and a fine spot. I'd say even a healthier spot because I think this was one of the more unhealthy decks for a while.
Mhm.
Just how efficiently and unfairly it got into Magnemon X. So, you know, I'm excited now to see just what the deck can do without it being as unfair.
Yeah. You know what? I think I have a hot take for this. I think it's high.
What's up?
I think it's high 1.5.
I 1.5.
I can see it.
I
I mean, you just
just because like I'm looking at what we're up against in 1.5, and I think Arbor beats AncientGaru and it beats Phoenix.
like that.
I like that too.
I mean, what is AncientGaru do gonna realistically do to a Magna X? Swing and get blocked?
Exactly right. Like I think yes, it got hit because, or yes, it got pretty. It loses its flexibility, like we mentioned earlier. In our shout out to our what's it called, our ban list prediction video. We talk about how Awakening hurts the flexibility for armor quite hard, but at the end of the day, you're still only just evolving over to like a level 3. And
Pop your training.
yeah,
One of your 3 colors. It doesn't really matter which one you pop.
yeah, like you're still it's still an easy sturdy and defensively rigid, a very solid board where your survivability, because of how strong like armor purges, you retain your stack. Like it, like
I like this. I like that. Yeah.
you know what I
I'm
mean?
for
Like the sturdiness
Mhm.
of like Magna, and as well as like Magna X, you can still go into that. Black Magna, and as well as like the new Flamedramon. I think the new Flamedramon adds a lot to its punching power that it already had from like having the Magna top end, but now you have another form of like swinging pressure with the Flamedramon where you just rip their. That's what it does, right? Like rip the top of security.
Yeah, it adds it to hand.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
so like I think it's just really effective, and because I was looking like here, I'll just pull it up as well. Like shot BT Eggman's list, it made third, dude, third over Royal Knights, AncientGaru, AncientGrey, and AncientGaru, and like I'm looking at their list, and the lists are running also like
3,
Yep,
4,
3.
2,
Yep,
1.
Yeah.
this is. I love this.
yeah, like you're still running
Oh, Congo, I like
Or
it.
Rocket, hell yeah!
Fire
Oh,
Rocket,
Kongu.
Kongu.
Oh, well, this list
Exactly.
is bonkers. I love this list.
Like exactly, Ultimate Flare, like Full Moon, like two shoe, like
This is
a
hot.
shoe, like this list
This
is hot.
is just
dude.
Magna control.
Yeah,
I
and
love
it's-
it.
And like
Or Magna mid range.
yeah,
Armor mid range.
like like looking at our tier list, right? Like Fenrir, I think Fenrir
Yeah.
can like swing faster and able to pop
Get
those armor purges. And,
bigger. It
and,
gets
bigger,
to
yeah.
21k. What is Magna gonna do? Block once, die, and then get ran the hell over
like
for the rest of the game?
Like Magna armor Magna isn't gonna run through Fenrir or Imperial. They're just faster and can deal with, and they can deal with Magna X. But everything
Mhm.
else, like
I will say though, if one of the, because Fenrir only realistically checks 2 security,
mhm,
3 at the most.
mhm.
If one of those 2 to 3 security is
It's Black Magna, cooked, dude.
Black
done.
Magma.
Done.
Dude, Black Magna's
Oh.
Black Magna's so good, dude.
Again,
Yeah.
Fenrir can just kind of auto lose to a sec, but so
Yeah, true.
helps you in that matchup.
For sure.
But so strong security is not enough to carry you into a tier IMO. So
But yeah.
I do like
Yeah,
it. 1.5 sounds
yeah,
pretty good.
I
for that spot.
love that. I love that. I genuinely still favor Magnemon, and I like Armor as a mechanic. So yeah,
Agree with that. Cool. Next on our list is we have Mirage. Oh, we don't have our Mirage boy here, but yeah, Mirage still chilling, man. It's still chilling, doing its thing.
Yeah, talk
Like
about
what,
another
1.5?
deck.
above
No,
Ancient.
we're putting this tier 1.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
no.
I think
Talk
it's
about
worth it.
another deck that no. So it's one of the biggest winners from the ban list. Like clearly, not a single. Oh, sorry, Hammer Spark. That like.
Put that boy above Take as well.
I think that's
Yeah, I mean it does what Take does, except for it cheats the memory gauge in a different
better.
way. Yeah, and yeah,
That's
just
on
a
its
little bit
other
more
side.
consistent. It's a little more consistent. Like, just like Fenrir, it kind of like waits for a couple turns, prays you hit some of its things out of security, and then just tries to kill you in one turn. Just like Take, though, it doesn't feel good when you have to go through a Pyldramon. You are having to bounce it, so you're gonna have to proc its partitions. So it's like it does still have its issue against some of the main decks into the meta, but like against almost everything else, it's just gonna blow out the decks in one turn. It can, even if it can't kill you in one turn, if it's able to leave a Mirage or two out on your field during your turn, you're stuck with the cards you have.
Yeah.
There's no drawing your outs. There's no checking,
Mhm.
searching. Yeah, because if you do that, you're just passing it back, and you're gonna
Such
die
a
the next
strong
turn.
floodgate. Such a
Yeah.
strong floodgate.
So I think this one's definitely one of the bigger winners from the ban list. Um, it doesn't have any like super hard matchups besides Imperial, and uh, yeah, I mean, what else can you say? It probably should have seen a card or two in the ban list.
Yeah. Okay, so in that case, like if you could hit something from Mirage, what would you hit?
Mirage for sure.
Mirage
The was
itself,
it,
yeah.
is it the BT11 one that lets you gain the memory?
Mhm.
Yeah,
All turn?
BT11 Mirage.
Yeah, that, or I've seen some people talking about the tamer, the
BT3
Enclave.
Thomas.
Yeah, that tamer's pretty good too. I definitely see that because you just don't have as much options as tamers.
Yeah.
So hitting that to one would absolutely do some issue, like some consistency issues for that.
It
But
basically
I think they
reads
have other options like on their sixes. Like the other Mirage is still a really good card, but it doesn't floodgate out your opponent.
Yeah.
Like
and it also doesn't it doesn't further your win condition, i.e. reduce their security down.
Hmm. Yeah. But nonetheless, still really strong, still at the top of the format. Has other couple competitors out there, but I think it has strong matchups against. Like it can deal with Imperial. Maybe not as. It has a strong fighting chance. Is what it is I think is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, I mean Zudomon's still really good against the Imperial matchup. Um, One thing that I would say for the matchup, like obviously if you resolve a Pyldramon, you're probably not going to die. However,
Mhm.
just not dying that turn doesn't mean you win the game. Like you still have to compete with them fielding a Mirage against you, and so yeah, they'll field the Mirage against you as well as shoot, what is it the thing that they can do? So they gain the memory with the effect. They field the Mirage. Um,
Unsuspend, bounce.
no, there was something else that was kind of like ominous into the matchup.
Oh, the level 5 mock can't be blocked. Can't.
Oh yeah, that's
I
huge.
mean, that's a good card. That can't be blocked. The new 5 is
Can't
pretty good.
be
That lets you,
redirected.
yeah, it can't be redirected. I mean, Imperial doesn't do a lot of blocking.
Nope.
Realistically, the only thing it does is the
Not that
Togemogu
thing.
and sometimes the fighter mode, the BT12 fighter mode. But not even everybody's running that. Um, so yeah, the deck's still strong. Imperial, like I said, it's a little bit annoying, but like the Zudomon can help. The Gomamon, if you're running that, can help. Just get rid of its partition. Um, Try to choke
The
it
deck
and like still turn back before you can do another Pagemon.
the deck shifts into basically blue good stuff very well. So any good blue card is just indirect support to this deck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and its memory efficiency is insane because it's. Oh yeah,
Has
okay.
been.
This is what I was gonna say. A little bit of some an ominous thing against the matchup for Imperial. My bad to go back to this really quick.
Yeah.
Imperial draws and searches a fuck ton. So it's like you'll be sitting at like 16 cards in hand, and you're just like, ah, fuck. If they can get to a Mirage, they're definitely retaining turn. So like that's something a little bit cheeky into the matchup. You resolve one of your Pyldramons, you draw a shot ton of cards, and then all of a sudden you're giving them a free Evo into the Mirage. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Definitely. Yeah. Can't put it better myself. Okay, moving on. Yellow Vax. Yellow
Bottom of tier 2, top of tier 3.
Yeah,
Nah, dude. I still.
bottom of tier.
I still.
Wow.
That's me, dude.
Ooh,
Dude, I just
I
have hot
am a
takes, dude. I just have hot
That's
takes.
I see. I again, unless I see what you're kind of saying, you just bank on going into your Magnamon. but your ability to go into turn 2 Magna is just no longer really there.
I mean, but I think still the yellow vaccine package stuff. Like you got Magna Ace, you
Yeah.
have early Rapid, you have Vidras, you have armor like from the level 4 end. You have like Pillowmon, you got crazy
Yeah,
Patamon, you have 4
I,
emissaries,
you're,
you
that's
got
Four
fair.
Mad Awakening,
emissaries,
you
dude.
got TK. Like you can still yes, it's been hurt
You
from
got
TK.
one TK. You got
Yeah,
one
Yeah,
so
TK.
I know, but like I think still at that package, it's still
Or Emissary is still nuts. You do have other TKs.
Yeah.
Pat is a bonkers card. I did have those pages up, but I accidentally closed them.
it,
Oops.
it's either high tier 2 or like actually no, I'm probably think there.
I was gonna say, yeah, more realistically, it's probably like high tier 2. I don't really have a whole lot of faith into it because it's just gonna be way less consistent going into your best card in the deck.
Mhm.
So it was getting carried by IMO. The deck was just getting carried by how fast it got into
Yeah.
Magna and how reliable the TK combo made it.
yeah.
Now you're just strictly stuck with the RNG and using like you don't have the TK to secure. Like you promote pad it, don't have your 6 and your 4 in security. What are you gonna do?
Literally one TK to get that into your security. It's
Did you
gonna
go
be
for
a
3
lot
pass
more
turn?
rougher.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot rougher. It's gonna be a lot more rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna hard play your Mim Tamer TK for 4, and then pray to God you recovered your level 4 off of after you added
Yeah.
a card to your hand.
Awakening to
Uh,
1, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can
I
still
think
run
it's
Sparkle in the deck, like to go up into your Rapid
yeah,
X's.
yeah, but Rapid X isn't as it's not. It's you just need the.
Yeah, no, for sure, it's not as strong as a card as Magna X, but like
I definitely would probably maybe put this in the middle of tier 2 then. But I'm an absolute disbeliever of the deck. Like there's fine because you guys have made some really strong points. Oh, I mean, yeah, like if you want to talk about Tamer hate, what do you do when your 1 TK gets popped? What
Yeah,
are you
for
doing
sure.
now?
I like it there. I think decks can check the deck
Uh,
pretty well.
The deck has a lot more checks now. No,
Yeah, okay, it didn't fall that. I'd
no,
say for sure it got hit the hardest out of anything on the
Yeah.
ban list. Like even harder than Numemon, obviously harder than its counterpart in the Vmon Magnamon.
Yeah.
Just it relied on Awakening even more so,
Mhm.
and of course TK getting hit as well as the Uko, like
Yeah.
and the
yeah,
Louis. Like
huge,
sometimes you'd
huge.
play
Oh
Uko or
yeah.
Louis in that deck too. Like so many
Hmm.
things from the deck just got
Yeah.
hit. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm really interested in seeing because if you look at like the history of like like TCG for Digis, like Yellow Vax in general has been hit twice now, like the Kaze hybrid stuff, and then as well as like the Pata stuff. So like
Oh yeah, talking about yellow as a strong color in general,
yeah,
like
yeah.
reinforced memory boost,
Jet selfie.
Jet Selfie,
Mhm.
Geo Gray.
Yeah. But like my intent behind like bringing it up is just like I want to know what they're gonna do next for Yellow Vax, what they plan on
Yeah.
doing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I
if
think
like how do we bring Yellow back into like aside from like having it like it's one of those things where like the Yellow package has always just been like a huge support to whatever additional like color it's blended in with. You know what I mean?
try the 3 Great Angels. I played against it on Sim at 8 life. I couldn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Eh,
But so it's something to definitely look into. I'm interested in see what like Yellow Vax players like planning on doing to like maintain its competitiveness with like where we're at right now. But probably won't see it for a little bit. But I think yeah, middle tier 2 is fair. I just want to I just want to fucking make some hot ass takes and shit. But
all right.
yeah,
Put that shit in the rip.
yeah, oh god, it's definitely ripped for sure. But moving on, we got Rapid X bunnies, dude. Rapid X. First of all, cool ass alt art. I
Uh,
love this alt art.
It was
uh,
crazy. Talk about
I'm gonna
winners from the ban list.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That shit's tier 1.
You.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
You. That's a hot take. All right, yeah, lay it on us. Let us why.
I think its only real bad matchup is Imperial. I literally just sorry.
Walk us through.
Just, um,
Walk us through these matchups right now. Imperial Magna, and Fenrir. Walk us through those matchups.
Mirage and Fenrir.
Okay. So we'll start with the Fenrir. Sparkle Rapid. They try to suspend or put bodies on board. They don't have bodies on board.
Okay.
Can't PDP reduced. They swing. I Digivolve into. I just blast Digivolve, suspend, lock down their board, and then I'll out it during my turn.
And then Mega Gargoyle.
Sparkle, baby.
Mega
Sparkle's gonna be the key. The Sparkle's the absolute key to the matchup. Sparkle is awakening, but fair.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because what you're digivolving up into is fair, but what I'm digivolving up into is arguably fair, because it in itself is a floodgate, and I can blast digivolve off of it into Mega Gargoace, which absolutely shuts off Fenrir's whole strategy.
Dude, Mega Gargoyle's so strong.
And the same argument can be applied, but replace Sparkle with Black level 5 Rapid. Mirage literally cannot answer that card. Mirage's whole strategy is I want to swing at level 5 or 6 and then Digivolve up. I say go for it, you will lose the game. It's not like 100%. We've talked about it in the last podcast episode. I haven't dropped the set against Mirage with bunnies. I haven't. I play against it on Sim constantly. I play against it RIL constantly against my team. Plays it a lot. We love it. But I'm undefeated against it. I might be a little biased here, but it's really the only hard matchup so far. It's been Imperial, mainly due to Ken Davis and stripping sources. Yeah, it's rough. I definitely want to play into more of it, but I want to say it's probably 60-40 Imperial. You kind of just have to. Yeah, you kind of just have to let them play into it. Don't brick. As they go up into their aces, you kind of have to force them into their fighter mode when you can, or blast over into your. Have to go into a aggressive Gargo to shut off their ability to blast off. Mega Gargo will also shut off the sitting progenitor, so it's pretty good.
Hell yeah, dude. No, I definitely agree.
Mega Gargo is a hell of a fucking card.
Mega Gargo's super strong. Like, just blast and then like lock up their turn pretty much. Like, cause like
I'd say one thing the deck could probably use, and I think being yellow, and with the hints of black, it can actually do it if it wanted to. I think it could run some like taunts. I think the deck would do really well with some taunts in it.
Yo, throw a level 4 Dex in there. No, I'm kidding.
You can if anything, I'd play the 1-drop Laplace's Demon.
Well, but yeah, I think the deck is really strong. I think the black Mega Gargo, or the black Rapidmon goes crazy into this meta. Like we were saying,
shredding security.
Blue is the thing. So like, being able to keep yourself from getting bot decked goes crazy hard if they don't have other ways to reliably like deal with your mons.
Rapid also helps out a lot with partition.
Can you kind of go into that for those who aren't familiar?
Yeah, so if you can out the Pyldra before they are able to blast or before you have your aggressive plays, they'll partition out, and then you can either suspend it using other Rapid or go into another Rapid X. You can also de-digivolve their Dragon Mode and or their Imperial, or sorry, their Pyldra to get around the partition. But the floodgate that is Rapidmon X, it gives all turns, all my opponents' Digimon minus 4K while they're suspended, while he has Rapidmon or X antibody in the stack.
So good. Yeah. I definitely agree with it's going to be that sleeper that either people.
It also has access to Ruin mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
True.
Yeah, true. Super true.
Ruin really strong.
But yeah, I think it's going to be the sleeper of the format. I'm excited to see if it does see tournament play. I'm excited to see like what you guys come up with and kind of see where that goes.
Heck yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about the hottie.
Yep.
The queen.
The next one is Sakuya. It's seen some support this set.
No, put her in RIP where she belongs.
RIP. Um,
I'll
I
believe it
don't
when I
know.
see it, but I don't think it's a bad deck
I
by any
haven't
means. I
had
don't
any like
believe in bad decks
blowout
in Digimon.
losses. I've been testing this stuff a bit. Um, I think it's gonna get support, and I think the support's gonna help move it into actual like competitive viability. I think right now it lacks kill potential, but what it does finally have is it has really good survivability. So the
Honestly,
new,
Loki,
yeah,
real quick, can we change that rip to a don't have kill potential and then drop Sakuya right there?
don't have kill potential.
Because that's literally Pulse's and Yas's biggest issue is no kill potential.
Yeah,
NKP.
I'll put Dexdoru's bitch ass down here too.
Yo, leave my son. Yo, leave him alone, bro. You better watch out before I Digivolve 3 your ass, man.
Because by no means do I think these decks don't do anything or don't have lines of play, but they just don't do enough. And there's decks that do what they do better.
Yeah, I think a lot of decks are starting to gain like pretty reliable way to stick to board, and I think Sakuyamon's one of them. Like the new Sakuyamon, whenever you play an option with a cost of 2 or more, the Digimon can't be bottom decked or bounce, and then it itself has a barrier, so it's not super easy to out. You can't bot deck or bounce it. You can delete it, but no bot deck, no down bouncing, and then as well as you get protection from battle with barrier. It's just kind of surprising a little bit the ways that this can keep itself around, and then the new option's also pretty nice because when you're on the Sakuyamon's like Sakuyamon or Maiden mode that doesn't have barrier, you're able to still give it protection from battle, so you're able to swing in. It can do some pretty spicy things with essentially a combo that can kill any mon. At least to my knowledge, there's no Digimon that can survive the combo that Sakuyamon can do, and that's just Blast Fire plus Pause Memory Boost. So Blast Fire just turns your Digimon's original DP to 3k, and then Blast Fire does minus 6k until the end of your opponent's turn. And anything when their original DP only becomes 3k, like nothing's gonna live from that. Even if it evos up somehow into a Digimon that has 20,000 DP, its original DP will still be 3k, and it'll just die again to being negative.
It's funny.
Yeah, no, it's real funny. It's an easy out to Magna X. You just hit it with those 2 cards, and then it's just like, okay, your turn.
Poof.
Just
No more
gone. Just
Magna
dead.
X.
Yeah,
Nah,
same thing
man.
with like Ragna. Same thing with Omnimon Ace. Like any of these Digimons, they're just like, okay, it's your turn, and then it's just gone.
It
So it's
lingers onto the
super. Yeah, until the
it,
end of your opponent's
yeah.
turn.
It's like a blanket effect as well, right? So
So you're, and then like even if you can't resolve both of them, either one of those cards by themselves are still an insanely strong card. So you can either like hit a Magnamon with a minus 6k DP and can't activate when digivolving effects, which means during your turn that Magnamon's not going to have protection, or you can just make one of their Digimon a 3k Digimon. Like I've because you can just field certain blockers in Sakuyamon now, and you can just make something 3k and have like a 5k Sakuyamon that's just or a 5k Cubimon that's just like, okay, good luck. Like, I'm 5k, and then push over somebody's Omnimon that's only 3k because it can't kill your blocker. Pretty funny.
I think Sakuya has like potential to like be somewhere in tier 2 or like low in tier 2, somewhere in tier 2.
I agree.
Like aside, let me be real. I think it's like somewhere like right here.
Nah, I think it's no higher than tier 3. Again,
Yeah.
the fact that it just does not have kill potential is going to be like what hurts
No
the
kill
deck so bad.
potential doesn't mean no potential at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. I think there's definitely potential for the deck. I think some of the aces that it's gonna get, especially the
The
Cubimon
Talmon.
ace or Talmon, yeah, the Talmon ace is kind of crazy. And then its six is okay, but I think the Talmon's really where the support's gonna shine. And like anytime there's an option that costs 5 or less that comes out,
Mhm.
it's inadvertently being support to Sakuyamon, especially if it's yellow or a cost of 2 or lower. But anytime an option basically comes out with a cost of 5 or less, it's some type of support to Sakuyamon, which is pretty dope.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I think we can wrap that up there. Next deck is Ulforce,
Put
dude.
back in no kill potential. Hold on.
Who?
No,
Ulforce?
this deck has hella kill
No,
potential.
put her back. Put her back. Put Sakuya back. Thank you.
No, no.
You can put her at the top. You can put her at the top.
I still think tier 3 is kind of
That's
appropriate.
fine. That's fine. Fine. Josh, I saw you, sneaky boy. Sneaky boy.
Next deck we have
That's
is
fine.
Ulforce.
Tier 2, like probably somewhere in there. No. Maybe I don't know. I haven't personally
Martin
like.
Lee told the world that he can that this deck fucks. This deck will fuck you up, dude.
You're not. I mean, I'm gonna put it like it's kind of like I think tier 2 is probably best because
I
it's
definitely
in my
believe in this
head.
deck.
I believe in it, but in my head, it's always been a worse Mirage.
Yeah.
Very similar combo once to OTK. Very tamer reliant. Needs a lot of things on board to do its thing.
Yeah.
The way
Needs to
that
be
this
sequenced
deck can play
correctly.
out of taunts is kind of insane because
The
a lot of decks want to try to hit you with those taunts and like force you into unfavorable situations, and this deck can just get out of them like no one's business. Suspend, play your tamers, unsuspend, bounce a Digimon, like it kind of goes crazy. And the ability to play the Black Magnamon is
Dude.
kind of nuts.
Yeah,
that
actually,
card's
because we can play Black
crazy.
Magna, we're
You're
putting it.
still a Vmon. You're still
Yeah,
a
I know he's a
Vmon.
Vmon.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's gonna be a good deck. Like you're a
you
Vmon
can still play Magna X. Like crazy.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could even run in the Magna X. I mean, you can still just Digivolve unaffected, unsuspend, like
Do all
deck
the things.
deck does the things. I think it has most everything you're gonna need. Evade, it's a cool mechanic to protect yourself. I don't even know if you guys run the one that has evade still, but yeah, I think the deck's still really strong, and if you have a strong pilot on the deck, that just amplifies all of the cheeky ways that you can get out your opponent's board.
Wyatt's looking at me
I'd
really
say
hard
it's-
right now.
Yeah. I hate it. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with what he just said. Yeah, I agree with everything that's just been said. I really would like to see definitely more people playing this deck. Ulforce is probably one of the most underrated knights in terms of design, and I think he gets a lot of flack because he's the redheaded stepchild to the V line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is
Yeah.
only really gate kept hard because Arena is an expensive and hard and gate card.
True.
So if you have
Or you'd be
your
like me and
$50,
Sim. Or you'd be like me.
I'm gonna
and
say if
Sim.
you have a $50 arena set of $50 arenas in your set of $50 arenas in your binder, just chill and play the deck. It's a really good deck.
Yeah.
Promo Vidramon gives it more access to more consistency.
Mhm.
Huge. You can also play new Ken Davis, which that card's broken. Huge. I ain't got a whole lot of else to say. Like the deck's really strong. It's a Vmon deck, has access to Vmon tools.
In comparison to everything else, in comparison to everything else in tier 2, like where would you put it? Like in the tier 2 stack?
Honestly, I was actually just looking at our tier 2 lineup. I was gonna say probably below Pata.
Okay.
But I think Ragna might be a little higher. Like no. Like Ragna might be higher than Pata. But like at the same time, I'm also biased as shit. So who cares?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I honestly
Ulforce-
kind of like it next to the map build.
so it's like, is Ulforce losing to the things on the right, and is it beating the things on the right, and is it losing to the things on the left?
I think like you could play anything into tier 2 into anything in tier 2, and it's gonna just kind of
Just to find its place here. So like it can get around Magna or Ragna taunt pretty nicely because it just gets around taunts and then it bounces the stuff, so it's not going to allow that to DNA on against you.
That's true.
Same thing with the Omnimon. So it's like those two decks both kind of suffer from the same thing, that they want to DNA on your turn into their big boss monster, and Ulforce just says no. Sins, like, I don't know, Sins might actually have a decent matchup into it, like awkwardly enough, maybe just being bigger. I don't know, does the deck have jamming? I don't think the deck has.
Yeah, it does.
The deck has jamming. Arena gives jamming out and evade.
Arena gives jamming, and also you have the level 5 if you're running it.
So realistically, the options for 7 deadlies are just going to be the bigger issue, right?
I was gonna say, doesn't it? Well, don't they get evade from one of your tamers?
I
Yeah.
think they get evade.
Yeah,
You guys
But
have two
evade,
arenas, right? Am I
is
crazy?
evade just deleted by? Is it at all just deleted?
I'm pretty.
Yeah,
pretty sure,
when you would be deleted.
I'm
Or
like
just
pretty
when you
sure
would
we
be
do.
deleted.
Yeah, blocker and evade.
Yeah, yeah.
Block,
I was gonna say,
blocker
yeah.
and evade.
Blocker of it on evade.
But
Evade,
you
yeah,
get the jamming from Arrow V if you decide to run it. Where is he? This one. This boy?
Oh yeah, I don't think they run that anymore though. But I mean,
Yeah.
you totally could. I don't see why
could.
not.
You
Low-key
definitely
swing
you
with
definitely
that.
run this one
There's-
for sure.
You see any of the lists that topped with this deck?
I have to pull up the Martin Lee one, but. 'cause
Oh yeah, for sure.
Martin Lee, but
Yeah, I think this is fine. Tier 2, somewhere in the middle of the pack. It's a less consistent Mirage,
mhm.
but it can be a sturdier Mirage.
I feel like I like its matchup into Dex and into Numa because again it gets around taunts. So both of those decks rely heavily on their taunt package now.
Yeah.
As well as neither one of those decks like to be bounced. They hate it.
That's
So
true.
outing taunts and bouncing is exactly what Ulforce does.
Mhm.
And you can choose to play Paladin mode.
And yeah, you can choose to play Paladin mode, and Paladin mode goes fucking hard. So
Yeah. Ooh, real
I
quick,
think it deserves to be moved up a bit onto the tier 2 ladder.
I think.
Yeah, yeah, fuck it. I like that. I'm for it. Let's do it.
Here's Martin Lee's deck list regarding.
This is the
yeah,
pre.
this is pre-ban list though, but just to kind of get a power level curve on seeing what it can do.
Just an understanding. Yeah.
Like Davison can the Tai Chi for draw.
Invalidation plugin. So that's the pause plugin, Pete, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Minus 6 KDP.
This card goes so crazy. Yeah, this is just the out to Magnamon that it has.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Magnamon's probably one of those harder matchups.
Mhm.
Yeah, it definitely was.
But yeah, still really strong for sure.
Yeah, I like this. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on, we have Tyrant.
Tyrant. Where's all our Green Kings?
Let's put that.
Asleep
Honestly,
because it sucks.
I say put that at the top of 3. Put it at the top of 3.
Yeah.
Oof. I'll take that. Yeah, that's fine.
It's a
Does it
good
beat anything
deck.
in tier 2?
It can, yeah, but
Like, yeah,
not
it can,
like,
but like
it's
even
gonna
Demon
be-
Lords, that's right above it. It's like almost you think like Demon Lords just gatekeeps the 3 decks, and I think
yeah.
Demon Lords does a really good job at just keeping Tyrant down. The amount of options that it can play just means that Tyrant's never going to be able to reliably keep a Tyrant on board.
I could probably even move Demon Lords higher.
I mean, I kind of like Demon Lord's gatekeeping too. It's a pretty nice spot. I don't think any of those decks can realistically
Get
beat
it?
Demon Lords.
It's a gate.
Yeah,
Let me stop.
And these are all the demons.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have much to say against the deck. Personally, never played it just because no one really plays it, and if they do play it, I don't see them because I'm at the top table.
Green's a bad color in my opinion. Coming from a bunny's, I'm kidding. If I'm gonna be completely real,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be completely real, it does everything that a tier 2 deck is doing. Like it pops Tamers, it has aces, it has a body that can't be affected by a Digimon effects. But you get shat on by options, you get completely ousted by aces. You have 0 protection to your board, so the cards you play out, which are typically your ace, aren't protected. So again, I think it's a strong deck, but it doesn't do enough.
Yeah, I agree.
It can get to a 22k body.
Yeah, but that's about it. Like,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so.
But AncientGreymon's gonna be at 24k, bigger than you, and punching you in the face for check 4 check piercing. And then I've literally I think it was said in the podcast. Jesse will not play Tyrant if Smith is at locals because just for the threat of Sins being at the locals.
Yeah, actually, yeah, he
So
has said that actually. From
yeah, very frail deck. I've never had a problem playing against it. Playing bunnies, playing.
Yeah, it can't dig through its deck very like deep or reliably.
God,
I
I
think
feel like I really feel really bad for shitting on this deck because this is a really cool deck.
Yeah.
it is a really cool deck. I mean, I
But
actually really like this deck. I think using the worm or sorry the worm the Stingmon that falls for 1 and then
yeah,
inherently gains you a memory is crazy memory efficient. All of its 5s go up like in crazy memory efficient spots. Like
BT19 when Beetlemon gets more support and we have some more hybrid stuff, it might be revisitable.
Yeah.
yeah, it feels almost insulting because the other decks that are in there with tier 3, but it's hard to say for sure it's in tier 2.
Yeah.
But it's definitely better than all these tier 3 decks. I feel like
If it's a tier 2,
definitely.
it's like the absolute bottom of tier 2 gatekeeping, but it just loses so hard to pretty much everything else in here. So why?
No, I
It,
like evening out
yeah,
our
yeah, I
stock
like
here.
that.
Let's go put it to
Uh-huh.
3.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
keeping
I
top
think
of
3's
tier.
fine. Like you pop, you're done, absolutely deceased.
Mhm.
You're not playing the game anymore. You don't see your Izzy, you're not playing the game anymore.
For sure. Yeah. All right. And our last deck for tonight
Oh,
is
yay!
Setcon, dude.
Pop that thing at the bottom of tier 2, and let's call it a night.
Bottom, all the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
I think yeah,
it's the same thing
Secon's
as
got more tools. Secon
it's
like
just
has quietly been picking up more different like top ends,
yeah. Do you have
different
any variants of
options
that deck
like.
there now moving
Yeah, there's
forward?
a lot of variants of the deck. I still think it's a strong deck against certain strategies. Certain strategies just don't without the correct kill potentials just will never get through your security. Like if you can't float well enough plus actually put on
Tyrant.
pressure, you're never gonna get through. Oh yeah, Tyrant does not have a chance against security control. It
No,
feels
like
rough, but and again like
He-
any of those decks below it, any of those
Dude.
3 decks below it, they just do not have a chance against security control.
actually, funnily enough, Gallantmon can do stuff because it just shreds security. But,
He just-
but,
actually, I think
No,
on
no.
second thought, I actually think
but no,
Sakuya can also.
Put
Actually,
stop.
guys, I
Put
think
Tyrant.
Diaboromon can.
no, put Tyrant back
Don't
up
do
because
the bugs
Tyrantmon,
like this.
but Tyrantmon will shat on all 3 of the decks of below it.
That's what
Uh,
I'm saying. No, 100%. I think Tyrant's way
I'm
better than
just
the 3
saying
decks below
Tyrant.
it.
I'm just saying
Into
Tyrant
security
is
control,
another one of
doesn't
those
have a
decks.
chance. Into security control.
Yeah.
But
Um,
again, most decks like up here, AncientGreymon has an answer to it. Omnimon will just not give a shit because the DP reduction it has a lot of protection.
Yeah.
It can get lots of protection. It can play out of it. It shreds security. You can just play Omnimon fudging X, which we all know how that goes against security control. Oops. Let me just look into there. I don't want that one in there. And swing, we're good.
oddly enough, I think Take and Mirage actually have an awkward security control matchup.
I can confirm this. In fact, Take fears security more than anything else on the planet.
And Mirage, like Mirage actually
Uh,
isn't super comfortable just throwing bodies into security.
you know what's pretty fun? Having a sparkled alliance sec check, a sparkled alliance bunny swinging at face. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Um,
And then of course its Imperial matchup is kind of deplorable nowadays, just because Imperial has so much forms of protection plus partition. Like if you're hitting in security and you're not completely getting rid of the Paildramon,
Yeah.
I'll just reuse the Paildramon or reuse the sources and then just
Mhm.
kill you faster, and then you can just evo up to into fighter paladin modes, reset game if it looks like it's going to take longer. Like if you drew your whole deck and you're like, I can win this strategy through deck out, you say, actually no you can't, and it's just like, oh, that strategy is now gone to me. So I think that matchup's pretty rough for Setcon, but like it's still a strong deck. It still can gatekeep weaker decks. But I'm so glad that a lot of decks are finally past it.
Yeah.
Like actually insanely glad, because it was kind of like a kind of a bit of a degenerate strategy. Just like I don't need to realistically rely on high skill cap. I'm just gonna try to get as much security on top of my security and pray that it's good and then bitch about it when it's not. Like,
Yeah,
so yep, there's my 2 cents on security control.
for sure. I think that's a
Real
good place.
quick,
Yeah, what's up?
do we have birds too high?
Birds too high? I was thinking low key
So-
we kind of do.
So
I'm
let's do this.
biased.
Like,
I'm
dude,
biased.
let's say
I
this.
love
Do we
birds.
have any tier changes now that we've like kind of like talked about all the
Yeah,
decks?
no,
Like,
absolutely.
let's-
Real quick, like let's look at the whole
Yeah,
entire
let's.
list and
Yeah,
see
yeah,
if we need to
yeah.
make
I'm
some
for
moves.
this.
All right, so let's see. Tier
I,
one.
I love our
feel-
tier one.
Yeah, tier
I
one's
love our
solid.
tier one.
I think in the level from like power to weakest, I think so too. I like our 1.5 too, but maybe
Uh,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're giving a lot of like credit where credit's due for sure, but stop, Jesus Christ. Actually, I was gonna say maybe Shine could get a 1.5.
Yeah,
I'm cool with
Low
Shine being at a
key,
I think
1.5.
so too. I think its
I
its
think,
damage
like-
output's still really out there, and
Yeah,
well,
high,
does
turn
the
2 OTKs are really good.
does the
I
inconsist
don't know what else to say.
does the inconsistency from like
Well, that's what
not
I'm
seeing
keep-
certain
that's what's-
tamers, is that gonna gatekeep it like to tier 2
You
versus
have
1.5?
12 Marcuses. It's so hard to not see Tamers now. Sorry, like you have a ton of Marcuses now. So it's not seeing the Marcuses, it's seeing the correct Marcuses in the correct time.
Mhm.
New Shine is beyond sticky.
Yeah,
Burst mode is still really good. It answers a lot of these older cards.
mhm.
I think yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Either
No,
yeah, top
What
of tier
about
2 or
what about
1.5.
okay? What about tier 2? Like, what's tier 2 looking like?
Ruin mode is Ruin mode's so good. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 for me.
I'd say drop birds right below Ulforce.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
other
I
like
can
changes?
get behind this.
Yeah, I can
That's
like
about it. I think that's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
for me.
Dude, I want this to be higher so bad. I want it to be good so bad.
I think it's really good. I mean, like it's towards the top of tier 2 for
They
sure. Like,
just did you guys so dirty by making your Dorus bad.
oh yeah, because like black base should be playable. It should be the de facto way to do it, but it's kind of sucks that it isn't.
Dude, I wish the Doru Gora, the level 6, that if it popped the tamer, it also unsuspended. So like
Yeah.
because like it says in text like, hey, if you kill a Digimon, unsuspend. But like
It
it's when Digimon
suffers
says we
from
can
being
kill
a
the tamer,
rare.
and I'm like, what the hell? Like you might as well, you know. But I think there's a lot of skill behind playing this because it's so responsive and utilizing the collision in order to handle like certain matchups. So
Bandai, let me design a couple sets for y'all.
for sure. Yeah, if you need Bandai, if you're listening and you're watching us because you care about the little guys, hire Wyatt. Wyatt has a lot of things to say.
Great insight. Yeah, no, I
For
agree.
sure. But yeah, okay. If that, you guys have anything else to say? If not, we can wrap it up here.
No, I mean,
if
like-
there's-
Go ahead.
For the viewers, if there's any decks you guys would like to see that we didn't cover, there are some decks that we didn't address that we just didn't talk about because it either didn't get support or
Take
hasn't
too long.
we haven't tested. Exactly, yeah. There's already a ton of decks, so we can save this and add more
Blackboard
decks to it.
Greymon.
Yeah, there's a ton of different decks there. So if there's decks
Diamond.
that you would like to see on this list, we could always do a part 2 to this.
Yeah,
Mother D Reaper.
for sure.
Oh yeah, and we'll definitely be doing another one once the starter decks and EX7 drop. So about 3 weeks out,
Absolutely.
we'll be doing another one.
For sure. But yep, thank you guys again so much for joining us for today's video of just our deck list overviews for post ban list for BT 17.5, and this is GFG's review on the current state of the game, current meta. If you guys have any questions, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, put it down in the comment section of things like you said, Wyatt said, things you want to see, cards you like. Interact with us. We like challenge our takes. Like I'm not saying this
We
is
love
like
it.
the end all be
Don't-
all, but like we love talking about things like this, guys. As you can see, we hope you guys do too, and we hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.